Dear students, welcome to the video lesson. In today's class, we will be learning about cell, the fundamental unit of life. Let us first learn what is meant by cell and its discovery. Dear children, we all know that living organism poses certain characteristics. One of the important characteristics among them is having cellular nature. In the year 1665, Robert Hooke examined the thin slice of cork through self-designed microscope. It looked like honeycomb consisting of many little compartments. He called it as cell. Cell in Latin means a little room. All living things are composed of cells. Therefore, cell is the basic unit of life. Dear children, this may seem to be very small and insignificant incident, but it is very important in the history of science. This was the first time that someone had observed that living things appear to consist of separate units. The use of the word cell to describe these units is used till this day in biology. Later on, Leeuwenhoek in the year 1674 discovered the free living cells in pond water. He collected pond water and he observed small structures, cells, free living cells in the pond water, and he called it as animalcule. Later on, Robert Brown built an improved microscope and he observed strange dark structure in the cell and he called it as nucleus. Robert Brown was the first to observe nucleus of the cell. Later on, in the year 1839, Purkinje coined the term protoplasm. He observed the complex material inside the cell and he named it as protoplasm. Then later on, Schleiden and Schwann in the year 1838 studied plants. Schleiden studied plants in the year 1838 and Schwann studied animals in the year 1839. Both of them came together and concluded that living things were made of cells. So, Schleiden and Schwann proposed the cell theory. You have already learned the cell theory in your 8th standard. What does this cell theory say? All living organisms are made up of one or more cells. The cell is the basic structural and functional unit in all organisms. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. In the year 1855, the German scientist Rudolf Virchow stated that every cell originates from another existing cell. All these three, Schleiden, Schwann and Virchow, these three have the main important contribution in the cell theory. So what was the discovery of Virchow? He said that from every cell, the new organism, from every existing cell, the new cells originates. Virchow stated that every cell originates from another existing cell. As you can see in this picture, if I am getting these two new organisms, I have got it from the previous one. That is, one cell divides and it gives rise to new cell. This was the observation. This is a simple observation. We can do it in the lab. For this observation, we have to use an onion peel. So taking the onion peel, now our task is to observe cell wall, cell membrane, nucleus and cytoplasm. Now we have to prepare a slide. How can we do that? Let us see now how to make an onion slide. We need one onion, We have to take the onions and take a thin slice, cut a small piece of onion and take with the help of forceps. We have to take a thin, we have to cut out and take this thin layer. We have to keep this thin layer of onion on the onion skin on the flat surface of the slide. Put a drop of water and strain it and cover it with the help of a cover slip, taking care that there should not be any air bubble. So what we have to do, take an onion and take a thin slice of onion. From that thin slice, take one more slice, thin paper-like slice out and keep it on the slide. Drop water on that and strain it with saffron in and cover it with the help of a cover slip. We have to take care that there should not be any air bubble. After a few minutes, we can observe it under the microscope. When we observe it under the microscope, we can see the structure like this. We can easily find out cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. With the invention of magnifying lenses led to the discovery of microscopic world. You know that all organisms are made up of small units called cells. As are bricks to a building, so are the cells to the body of an organism. You have already learned that organisms may be unicellular or multicellular. Observe this given picture. Observe it carefully. Can you guess which organism is this? Yeah, you might have guessed right. This is a single cell organism and it is called as amoeba. Can you observe this organism? Observe this and tell me which organisms are there. Bacteria. Here, again, a single cell organism. This is a single cell organism. All the activities are performed by the single cell, microscopic single cell, just one cell organism. And this is paramecium. Based on this number of cells, types of organisms on the basis of number of cells, we can classify these organisms as unicellular and multicellular. Now you have seen in the last three images, you have seen amoeba, bacteria and paramecium. All these three are having just a single cell. So these organisms are called uni. Uni means single cellular organisms. So what are unicellular organisms? Unicellular organisms are the organisms. They are single cell organisms as all functions are performed by single cell and its lifespan is short. Example of unicellular organisms are amoeba, bacteria and paramecium. Here again one more picture of amoeba, paramecium and here you can see the picture of bacteria. This is a single cell organism. You can notice few more details inside this. Later I will be asking you the questions on this. Observe this cell carefully. Our next concept will be based on the same. So now, dear children, we have learned about unicellular organisms. These are the organisms that are having only one cell. They are single celled organism and all the functions are performed by the single cell. Then what are multicellular organism? Multi, many. The organisms are multicellular organisms are those organisms that consist of large number of cells. Different cells perform different function and its lifespan is long. Example for multicellular organisms are human, tree, animal, etc. Observe this given image. Can you identify which organism is this? Yeah, this is Hydra. This is a multicellular organism. Here you have collection of images here. Many organisms are there. Can you observe this? Yes. Lion, tiger, deer, elephant, parrot, many organisms are there. So all these are examples for multicellular organism. Here you can see egg, sperm becomes embryo, then many organs grow in the body, becomes a baby and a full grown organism. So we are example for multicellular organism. Simultaneously here you can see egg and sperm fertilize and it gives rise to a organism, growing organism, that is all the organs grow in this, cells give rise to tissues give rise to organ and organ system and to a whole organism. So even insects are example for multicellular organism. Let us take an example of plant. Here pollen and egg fuse, fertilize and gives rise to group of cells called tissues in the embryo. Then later the embryo grows to a tissue level and becomes seedling. Here also it remains in the tissue level, and finally even in the adult plant also it is a tissue level of organization. But we see if there are many cells, tissues, group of cells forms a tissue. So tissue level of organization is seen here and a whole new organisms is seen, plant, living organism. And this is again an example for multicellular organism. Cell give rise to group of cell, forms tissue, group of tissues with similar structure and function form organ, group of organ forms organ system, and the organ system resides in the body forms organisms. Organism has organ system is formed of organs is formed by tissues is formed by cell. So we show level of cellular organization in human. Now let us look at some example of different kinds of cells in human body. Dear children, we have already seen that human is an example of multicellular organism. We have billions and billions of cells in our body. Does all the cells are similar in structure? No. We have different organs and organ system. We have different types of organ, and these different types of organs are formed of different types of cells. Now let us see some of the example of different kinds of cells present in our body, in human body. Yes, here is the blood cells. See, our body has blood, and blood is made up of blood cells. We know that RBC, WBC, platelets and plasma. And here we are seeing blood cells. This is one type of cell in our body. In the same way, nerve cell. These are the nerve cells. So these nerve cells transmit information, carry information in the form of electrical signals. It carries the information to the brain, to the spinal cord in the form of electrical signals. Don't you think these are so different? Yes. These are smooth muscle cells. You can see skeletal muscles is made up of muscle fiber bundle, and each muscle fiber bundle consists of muscle fiber, which is called a cell, muscle cell. This is a muscle cell here. These are the different types of cells which are present in our muscles. In the same way, cardiac muscles which are present in our heart. So these cardiac muscles are specialized muscles which are formed of special cells in the body. Here Here is the bone cell. These cells are formed in the bones. It forms a skeletal system. Here is a ovum. Female germinative cell, ovum. Here is a sperm and it is a male gamete. Male germinative cell or male gamete. It is found in males. Cells perform activities such as nutrition, respiration and cell division, which contribute to the overall growth of an organism. Hence, cells are called structural and functional unit of an organism. Cells carry many important functions. Here you can see an example, eukaryotic cell because there is a prominent nucleus. Cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. This is the image of a cell. There are many organelles floating in the cytoplasm. Here is again plant cell. It consists of cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. The main important components of cell are cell membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. In plants and some organisms, in addition to cell membrane, there is a rigid cell wall. Just now you have seen in the image, you have seen the plant cell and it consists of a cell wall. Here you can see this is a plant cell and it consists of cell wall. Here this is the image of plant cell. Now let us just recall the different parts of the plant cell. This is the cell wall. It limits water uptake and maintains the shape of the cell. This is the vacuole, right? It stores the nutrients and maintains cell pressure. And here is the cytoplasm, cytosol. It is rich in protein fluid and it helps other organelles to float. Cytoskeleton, it maintains the shape of the cell. Here is the chloroplast and it helps in the photosynthesis. Here is mitochondria and we know that it is a powerhouse of the cell. And here is the endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It helps in the synthesis of lipids. Here are the vesicles, blue dot-like structures which are called as vesicles. Here is a Golgi complex. It helps in processing and storing of protein. Here is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. It helps in the protein synthesis because it has ribosomes. We know that ribosomes are the sites of protein synthesis. Here is the nucleus and it is a site of most of the cellular activities. This is the nucleolus and it is the synthesis. Here in this synthesis of ribosomal RNA takes place. Once again you can just recall plant cell. It consists of cell wall. This is the cell wall. It maintains the shape, gives protection. This is the vacuole. It stores nutrients and maintains pH balance. This is the cytosol and here it is rich in protein and it covers all the organelles. This is the cytoskeleton and it maintains the cell shape. This is the chloroplast and it helps in photosynthesis. It is found only in plants. This is mitochondria and it transforms energy from food. And here is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. It helps in lipid synthesis and storage. And these are the vesicles, small dot blue structure. It helps in transport of protein. This is the Golgi complex. It helps in processing and sorting of proteins. This is the rough endoplasmic reticulum and it helps in protein processing as it has ribosomes. Purple like structure you can see here. These ribosomes are the site of protein synthesis. This is the nucleus. It is a site of most of the cellular activities. Then nucleolus present inside. It is helps in the synthesis of ribosomal RNA. And that's it about the plant cell. I have given you the work here in the activity. You need to draw this and practice write the label it and write the function of different organelles present in the plant cell. So this is about plant cell. Now let us move on for the next. We know that the three important components of cell are cell membrane or plasma membrane, cytoplasm and nucleus. This is the image that shows all the organelles with nucleus and the cytoplasm. Now let us learn what is cell membrane or plasma membrane. This is the image of cell membrane or plasma membrane. It is bilayered. You can see here head and tail like structure. These are made up of protein and lipids. Here you can see in this image, you can see how the molecules are getting transported in and inside the cell. This is the cell membrane or plasma membrane. Here again one more picture image of cell membrane. It allows only certain molecules to go inside the cell. It is semi-permeable in nature. Cell membrane or plasma membrane. It acts like a boundary. It is a boundary of each cell. It separates the cytoplasm from the surroundings. It is present in both animal cell and plant cell. It is made up of proteins and lipids. It is selectively permeable in nature. Selectively, it allows only selected molecules to go in and out. It is flexible in nature. So this is all about cell membrane or plasma membrane. So now you have seen how the molecules go in and out of the cell. Just now in this video you have seen the molecules. The cell membrane is selectively permeable in nature, and the molecule, it allows only certain molecules to go inside the cell. You can observe here how the molecules are moving inside the cell. So plasma membrane is selectively permeable in nature. Now how does this molecule go in and out? So what is the process behind that? Is osmosis. The main process behind this movement is osmosis. Then what is osmosis? Osmosis is the movement of water molecule from high water concentration to low water concentration through a selectively permeable membrane. Dear children, imagine this as a membrane, cell membrane. Now you can observe here how water molecules are moving from high concentration to low concentration. Here the concentration of water is less, right side. Here the concentration of water is more. The molecules move from more high concentration area to low concentration area. So this process, and across what? It is moving across this selectively permeable membrane. So our cell membrane also acts like this selectively permeable membrane. So this process is called as osmosis. Even in our cell also, the gases or the molecules move in and out by this process called osmosis. Water goes from high concentration to low concentration through a selectively permeable membrane. Such a process is termed as osmosis. Then there is one more process that is called as diffusion. So here you have seen that Diffusion is the process of movement of molecule or particles from higher concentration to lower concentration. So this process is called as diffusion. In the previous image you have seen about osmosis. Here you are going to see about diffusion. So here you can see in this image that molecules, the concentration of molecules are high on the upper boundary. Then in the lower side you can see the concentration of molecule is low. So molecules move from high concentration to lower concentration area. So this movement or process of movement of molecule from higher concentration to lower concentration is termed as diffusion. And here the cell membrane is acting like a selectively permeable membrane, and the molecules are moving in through this selectively permeable membrane or cell membrane. So these are the two important processes through which the molecules go in and inside the cell. Here again one more picture you can see. This is the high concentration area and this is the low concentration area. So the molecules move from higher concentration to lower concentration. So this process, this diffusion and osmosis, helps in supplying nutrients, hydrating the cell and all the other supplies the nutrients and supplies the gases to the cell. Next is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the fluid content inside the plasma membrane. Just next to the plasma membrane is the fluid which is present in the cell, and this fluid is nothing but cytoplasm. It contains many specialized cell organelles. Just now you have seen in the image. The cytoplasm, in the cytoplasm many cell organelles are floating. Each of these organelles perform a specific function for the cell. Each and every organelles carry their own responsibility and they does the function in the cell. Performs their important functions in the cell. And this is the prominent structure in the cell, and this prominent structure is called as nucleus. It is oval or spherical. It is prominent structure. It consists of nuclear membrane. You can see here, this is the nuclear membrane, outer membrane, nuclear membrane. And inside there is a nucleoplasm, a fluid-like structure. You can see here, this is nucleoplasm, and chromatin material. Here we have chromatin network and nucleus, nucleolus. Still another one small dot-like structure inside the nucleus which is called as nucleolus. We know that nucleus as a main control and coordinating organ component of the cell. Dear students, let us take some homework question now. First question is, draw a neat label diagram of plant cell. Second question, draw a neat label diagram of animal cell. Third one is, write a note on the contribution of various scientists for the discovery of cell and cell theory. Thank you. Have a nice day.